Here are the most recent deaths in the national news, as reported at Legacy.com in the first week of November 2024. Legacy.com is where you can find any obituary or publish an obituary in any newspaper in America and beyond. Actor Alan Rachins died November 2, 2024 in Los Angeles. He died of heart failure at the age of 82. He was best known for his roles on LA Law as legal firm partner Douglas Brackman and on Dharma and Greg as Dharma's hippie dad Larry Finkelstein. Rachins is also being remembered for his voice role as the Clock King on Batman the Animated Series, among many other performances in movies and TV shows. Musician and producer Quincy Jones died November 3, 2024 in Los Angeles at the age of 91. He was a jazz trumpeter who composed scores for films like In the Heat of the Night and In Cold Blood, wrote the theme songs for Sanford & Son and Roots, produced the massive charity single We Are the World, and much more. Jones is being remembered for his long-running collaboration with Michael Jackson. He produced the pop superstars albums including Off the Wall, Bad, and the top-selling album of all time, Thriller. Football player Mike Haffner died October 31, 2024 in Las Vegas. He died after a long illness at the age of 82. He was a wide receiver for the Denver Broncos in the 1960s and 70s who made a famous diving catch in 1969. Haffner is also being remembered for his post-football career as a color commentator on NBC and on Denver's KMGH-TV. Football player Dub Jones died November 2, 2024 in Ruston, Louisiana at the age of 99. He was a halfback, best known for his years with the Cleveland Browns in the 1940s and 50s. Jones is being remembered as one of only 4 professional football players to score 6 touchdowns in one game. He did it in 1951 against the Chicago Bears. Singer Tyka Nelson died November 4, 2024 at the age of 64. She was the younger sister of Prince, his only full sibling. Nelson is being remembered for her own singing career, including the 1988 Top 40 single Mark Anthony's Tune. A note to remember, sometimes personal information, such as someone's cause of death, is not announced immediately by their family or the authorities. When a cause of death has not been officially confirmed, we do not report on rumors. Every family has a right to their privacy. Artist Greg Hildebrandt died October 31, 2024 in Denville, New Jersey at the age of 85. He was best known for his illustrations for Star Wars, especially an iconic poster featuring Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and Darth Vader. Hildebrandt is also being remembered for his work in the universes of J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle-earth, Marvel and DC superheroes, Magic the Gathering, and others. Comedian and actress Janey Godley died November 2, 2024 at a hospice in Glasgow, Scotland. She died after fighting ovarian cancer at the age of 63. She was a well-known stand-up comedian in her home of Scotland, where she also appeared on TV and wrote several books. Godley is being remembered for her funny voiceover videos, which went internationally viral in recent years as she spoofed world leaders and other figures. Baseball player Joey J. died September 27, 2024 in Lutz, Florida at the age of 89. His death was announced this week. He was a pitcher best known for his years with the Cincinnati Reds, as well as for his time with the Milwaukee and Atlanta Braves. Jay is being remembered as the first Little Leaguer to make it to Major League Baseball. Actor Jonathan Haze died November 2, 2024 at his home in Los Angeles at the age of 95. He was best known for his performance as Seymour in the cult classic original 1960 version of The Little Shop of Horrors. Haze is being remembered for his long association with filmmaker Roger Corman. Little Shop was one of more than a dozen of Corman's films in which he appeared. Businessman Bernard Marcus died November 4, 2024, in Boca Raton, Florida, at the age of 95. He was a co-founder of the Home Depot, as well as the company's longtime CEO and later chairman of the board. Marcus is being remembered for his support of conservative causes and for his philanthropy. A billionaire, he pledged to give away much of his fortune. Dr. Richard Cash died October 22, 2024, at his home in Cambridge, Massachusetts. He died of brain cancer at the age of 83. In the 1960s, he developed a recipe for oral rehydration salts that could be easily mixed at home to counter the debilitating effects of cholera and similar diseases. Cash is being remembered for saving tens of millions of lives with his innovation. Manga artist Kazuo Umezu died October 28, 2024, in Japan. He died of stomach cancer at the age of 88. He was called the god of horror manga, known for bringing elements of Japanese folklore into his terrifying tales. Umezu is being remembered for such manga series as The Drifting Classroom, Cat-Eyed Boy, and My Name is Shingo. Businessman Ben Baldanza died November 5, 2024, at his home in Arlington, Virginia. He died of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS, at the age of 62. He was the former CEO of Spirit Airlines, who worked to transform it into an ultra-low-cost carrier. Baldanza is also being remembered as the co-host of the podcast Airlines Confidential. Broadcast journalist Chauncy Glover died November 5, 2024, at the age of 39. He won 3 Emmy Awards while working as a news anchor in Detroit, Houston, and Los Angeles. Glover is also being remembered as a philanthropist who founded the Chauncy Glover Project, a nonprofit that provides mentorship to inner-city teenage boys. In addition to featuring current deaths in the news, Legacy.com also honors the lives and legacies of notable people who died in the past. Here are some of this week's anniversaries. 2 years ago this week, singer and rapper Aaron Carter died at the age of 34. He was a pop star before he was even in his teens, known for hit singles like Aaron's Party and That's How I Beat Shaq. 4 years ago this week, TV host Alex Trebek died at the age of 80. The longtime host of the game show Jeopardy, he won 8 Emmy Awards for Outstanding Game Show Host. 13 years ago this week, rapper and actor Dwight Myers, better known as Heavy D, died at the age of 44. With Heavy D and the Boys, he had hits like Now That We Found Love, and he had roles in such movies and TV shows as The Cider House Rules and Bones. 33 years ago this week, actor Fred MacMurray died at the age of 83. He starred on TV in My Three Sons and in such movies as Double Indemnity and The Shaggy Dog. 34 years ago this week, actress and singer Mary Martin died at the age of 76. She was a Broadway star who originated the lead roles in South Pacific, Peter Pan, and The Sound of Music. 44 years ago this week, actor Steve McQueen died at the age of 50. He was the king of cool in films of the 60s and 70s like Bullet, The Thomas Crown Affair, and The Great Escape. Actress Dana Plato was born 60 years ago this week. She died in May 1999 at the age of 34. She was a teen star of the 70s and 80s thanks to her role on the sitcom Different Strokes. Actor Mike Evans was born 75 years ago this week. He died in December 2006 at the age of 57. He played Lionel Jefferson on All in the Family and The Jeffersons, and he co-created the sitcom Good Times. Singer and songwriter Minnie Riperton was born 77 years ago this week. She died in July 1979 at the age of 31. Her 5-octave vocal range was showcased on her hit single Lovin' You, and she was the mother of actress and comedian Maya Rudolph. Actress Doris Roberts was born 99 years ago this week. She died in April 2016 at the age of 90. She was best known for her TV roles in Remington Steele and Everybody Loves Raymond. Actor Ray Walston was born 110 years ago this week. He died in January 2001 at the age of 86. He was known for roles in movies and TV shows like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, My Favorite Martian, and Picket Fences. Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags in Georgia have been lowered to honor the memory of Bernard Bernie Marcus, who co-founded the Home Depot. Flags in Kentucky have been lowered to honor the memory of State Senator Johnny Turner and Game Warden William Tex Bailey. Flags in Ohio have been lowered to honor the memory of former Congressman Dave Hobson, Village of Somerset Mayor Tom Johnson, and Village of Dresden Mayor Greg Morrison. Flags in South Carolina have been lowered to honor the memory of Dr. Lonnie Randolph Jr., President of the South Carolina State Conference of the NAACP, Chairman of the South Carolina Commission on Consumer Affairs, and a member of the Board of Paroles and Pardons. Flags in South Carolina have also been lowered to honor the memory of former Superintendent of Education Dr. Barbara Nielsen. Flags in New York have been lowered to honor the memory of State Police Senior Investigator John L. Carey, who died from illness linked to his assignment at the World Trade Center following the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001. Flags in Connecticut have been lowered to honor the memory of Botsford Fire Rescue Assistant Chief Pete Blomberg. Flags in Maryland have been lowered to honor the memory of former State Senator Ida G. Rubin. Flags in Wyoming have been lowered to honor the memory of former State Representative Hardy Tate. Flags in Washington have been lowered to honor the memory of U.S. Navy Lieutenant Commander Lindsay Evans and Lieutenant Serena Weilman, both of whom died in the line of duty. You can read more about the lives of the people featured in this video on Legacy.com. At Legacy.com, any family can publish an obituary in honor of a loved one's memory, online and in local newspapers everywhere. Just visit Legacy.com and select your local community. You can also follow Legacy.com on Facebook and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths.